You've been watching my videos. I've been putting some videos out recently on about dreams and predictions that I have. That's what I'm known for. If you go to Facebook, you'll see The Spiritual Philanthropist. That's my page on Facebook. I have about a good amount of people that are interested in some of the things, or they used to be. I don't know what's going on, if the algorithms are affecting them or what's going on now. But I believe that I'm going to get straight right into it. I've watched all the news clips. I've watched everything that they're talking about, and there's a few different scenarios because this reminds me very much of I think it's either Project Bluebeam or something like that, where if you're not familiar with Werner von Braun, he was the German scientist that was collected from Hitler's regime during that time and brought to America with a bunch of other German scientists. But he was the one that was the most prominently known for creating the ICBMs to deliver nuclear payloads across continents. It's because of his rocketry and propulsion systems that we were able to basically, dominate that time, that era. And he worked very closely with his assistant. That's Dr. Carol Rosen. And in 1991, I believe, that was the first time that she had come out and she had spoken about what her experiences were with Dr. Werner von Braun. And she said that there would be like all these different scenarios that would play out. That's what Dr. Werner von Braun said, that he would tell her over and over that first there would be, like rogue, I think, can't remember if it was terror attacks, rogue countries that we would go to war with, and I think diseases, and that we'd have to fight globally. I could be wrong here. I know exactly what it was, but it was along those lines, like to get control of the people. Like exactly what happened after COVID and after all the other things that happened is that they enabled all these different, acts like the Patriot Act and all these other things. Exactly what Edward Snowden was talking about when he defected from America to go into hiding was the reason was that the government has so much control over the information that's being passed from each and every person, and they can basically do whatever they want with it. So, if you look at that for what it is and what's happening right now, Project Bluebeam seems more and more realistic to me. What's up, um, Ariel? I think or Adder. What's up, Adder Adele? How are you? Thank you. Yeah. So Project Bluebeam is something pretty big, and it almost looks like that's what's playing out. And the only difference is that what we're seeing right now, is not being projected. It's actually real. Like they're finding real things out there, and that's the thing that's puzzling to me. So here's the scenarios that I've come up with so far. What I'm thinking that what they were saying that they have is people seeing mists and all this stuff coming out of the these drones. So I'm not too sure what those things are. What's up, Misty? Yeah, so I'm not too sure what those things are. The only thing I can tell you, if there are drones that are out there and they're shooting off these red lasers, I don't know if you guys saw that. They had video of this thing shooting the red lasers. I'm not sure what those are, but I also saw other reports where they were talking about it's giving off EMP pulses. These EMP electromagnetic pulses can basically knock out the electricity in something. So it's almost like I want to say that that's a very a very good sign that something very highly technologically advanced is going on. At the same time, what really puzzles me, we know that we're seeing all this video. Thank God that we have social media in a sense, even though I don't always say that, but thank God we do in a sense because now the government can't hide it because everybody can actually go out there and take a picture with some pretty high resolution cameras now, and not only that, they have eyes in the skies as well, like satellites that fly over, which I'm confused is why aren't they satellites picking these things up on radar? That should sound alarms. The reason I say that should sound alarms is because of this. If you listen closely, and you're going to understand what I'm saying here, these things have been going to very important places. They've been actually hitting spots like military bases, nuclear sites. Okay, and everybody's saying the government's saying it's not a threat. Guys, if you were to look at this, like a strategy game or like a chess game. If somebody or something is able to position themselves in a place where they can attack you, you're in big trouble. And that's the reality of what we're facing. These things are not be they're not able to track them. They go into stealth mode, and they have no clue what happens to them when they go into stealth mode. If they're able to position, just like the movie Independence Day, they strategically position themselves around the planet, which these things are doing actually. And at some point in time, they may attack unless they've already attacked and we don't even know it. Maybe the stuff that they're spraying out into the air could be something that is going to cause some real damage at some point and some time. And I don't want to take away from anybody else's theories. I love to hear other people's theories as well. So that's why I like to, talk about these issues, because there's so many things happening right now regarding this issue that that it just puzzles me. That you don't see. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of videos. I'm not gonna lie. I see a lot of videos, a lot of people saying a lot of different things. Some people are bringing the Bible into it, saying it's satanic and it's demons and this that. Look, I'm not gonna say no, because none of us know exactly what that stuff is. I don't. If you look at my last video, in the beginning of this year and the middle of last year, I've been having consecutive dreams about New York City, over the skyline of New York City, about drones. I posted, if you look at my, you'll see my Facebook post in the last video I did, and you'll see where I'm talking about volcanic eruptions, obelisks, like Egyptian obelisks, rising out of the ground in those dreams. Then I had these dreams that I was on, or whatever they were. I don't know if they're dreams or visions, or I'm actually out of my body, but I was in some ship, and I realized that I was outside. I realized I was dreaming or something, and I remember floating in the air in this place, and coming down. And the woman looks at me. She goes, "The only reason you're able to do that is because you're off world." And at that time, I couldn't put two and two together. I said, "Off world." When I woke up, the first thing I did was look up the term "off world," and it means that you're off your native planet. You know, so a lot of people think that in order for us to travel, that we have to be in these physical outfits, these biological outfits, meaning our bodies. That's what I call them, biological outfits. Now, in the ancient traditions of India, which I come from, and I'm a yogi, a practicing yogi, and I'm practicing since I was very young, the yogis have been able to travel the universe outside of their body by spirit. And I've gone into deep meditations where I've left my body, so I know that this is true. The only way you can, there's no way to scientifically prove it. It's experiential, it's subjective. You have to do meditation yourself to figure those things out. You can't really read about it. Now, right, what was it? Last year and the last few years, Jeremy Corbell, who introduced David Grush onto the scene, and then you had Bob Lazar, who was the guy that came out with the first big thing about Area 51, said he worked on, on secret UFO projects at Area 51. So you have David Grush, you have Bob Lazar, you have Jeremy Corbell, all these guys that are pretty big into what they're doing. Last year, Jeremy Corbell came out with the documentary of Bob Lazar, which was really interesting. Then you had David Grush, that's been in the last 6 months or more, has been, he was the naval intelligence officer that came out to the public and said, yeah, there is something going on. And they talked about the Tic Tac. If you don't know about the Tic Tac, they look like orbs. They're circular in form, but they're not light. They're actually some form of, I want to say, metallic substance. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but there's no obvious propulsion system to them. Kind of like, we don't know exactly what's giving propulsion to these drones, but you can see this thing does look like a Tic Tac. It's got the same shape, the one that David Grush was talking about. He brought this in front of Congress, guys, and he spoke about it in front of Congress. And Congress is now, it's funny, now you're seeing all the hearings that are happening about the New Jersey drones. I think this could be, if they don't know where these are coming from, and they say they're coming off the ocean, and it's literally filling the skies all around the world. And there are plenty of countries now saying the same thing, that they don't know what the origin of these things are. They don't know where they come from or where they go or where they disappear to. And you have to understand, normal drones battery power doesn't last but an hour or 2 hours because of the weight that you have to carry. These things are lasting like hours upon hours in the sky, man. So whatever is giving it that energy and the propulsion system has to be pretty wicked, or highly, I meant to say highly technologically advanced, but wicked nonetheless. I mean, this is some pretty badass shit right here. You know, I do not know. I don't want to make any assumptions or speculations if they're malicious or have malintent, or maybe they're benevolent. I'm not sure, which way this goes. But there's also the other theories that are out there that this is being done by some other country, and they're basically sending in their drones here, but technology is way up above and advance of anything that the United States is saying that they have. We know, everybody knows that the United States probably has really high tech, but they'll never come out to the world and admit that they have that high tech. You know what I mean? So there is something going on. I'm 100% sure of that, because like I told you, my dreams that I had were pretty much on point. And like I said, if you watch the last video that I did, which was about the dreams, predictions, and the drones, and I did some visuals on there so you can actually see for yourself what those look like. And some of these visuals came out almost perfect. It's really weird how AI works. It was like reading my mind somehow. But there's also, I don't know if you guys checked, there was a guy on the internet that was supposedly use some form of AI to predict the drone attacks. And I find that interesting. That came out before the drone attacks. You never know with what a psyop with the government does, because things could be so easily manipulated and set up that you would never know. And nowadays propaganda is so easy with the advent of the internet, because you don't have to go fly over a country and drop pamphlets. All you do is hit post, type it into your browser, into your social media, and hit post, and it will go and do the work. It'll create a wave of information that will, either snowball in effect, if they know how to do it correctly, or if they have algorithms that'll run these things correctly, and then everybody will be looking up in the sky at the drones. This could be one giant distraction as well. I always, every time the government says not to panic, I have a tendency to panic. I've learned that from very young. Every time they say don't panic, I panic. You know, so guys, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I just wanted to put that out there because I see so much stuff going on now. I might come back on later when I do a little bit more research. But if you haven't checked out my videos, check them out. You'll see the most recent videos that I put out are all pertaining to what's happening right now, and some of my perspectives and some of the things that I've experienced. All right, guys, and I hope you enjoyed what I'm doing here. And thank you, each and every one of you who are watching right now. I really appreciate you guys. All right, have a good night, have a safe night, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want to leave some comments and some posts on things you want me to talk about, or any questions that you have, hit me up with it, and I'll definitely try to answer each and every one of you. Have a great night, guys. Stay safe. All right. All right. Talk to you then. Bye bye.